Hello and welcome to the Rugby's Rugby preview of round 22. This one's split up into sections. First of all, you're going to get the chat that Rich and I had on the podcast earlier this week, talking about the last round and the state of this round overall and kind of the state of the league. Then you're going to get the predictions for Pro Day 2 round 22 from Rich and I, and then you're going to get a little bit of a match preview for Soyongalem versus Valence Roman. So if you're here for just a preview of the FR UK game, which you can catch on Thursday evening, then you can skip ahead. It should be in the chapter markers for that specific match preview with the team news of Soyongalem versus Valence Roman on Thursday night to kick off round 22. But enjoy the video. Remember to like and subscribe and share it with as many mates as you can. Cheers.
Very good. We can also, Rob, look forward to the return on, well, both fixture list and on UK-Irish screens. FR UK will be back this week. Mentioned them a little bit earlier. Our boy Soyongalem taking on Valence Roman, which, again, feels like a quite nicely poised Valence who, I mean, have had an amazing season, as we've spoken quite a lot about. Angoulême, who seem to be discovering a little bit of form. Friend of the pod, Ben Bothka back.
18-3 at Aurillac. That, to be fair, from what I've seen in the highlight, that looks like your vintage, wet, wintry Friday night away in Aurillac sort of fixture. It looked like a tough one. A tough one for all involved, really. But, yeah. Aurélien Barreux had a good game. There was a lovely he kicked some goals. He was a fly half. I'd never heard of him before, to be honest. But he must be third or fourth choice fly half for Aurillac, really. But yeah, he did a lovely crossfield kick for one of the few tries in the game. Soyongalem, yeah, don't know. That's my overriding feeling about Soyongalem at the moment. It's just I don't know what's going on. It looks like they've got names back on the team sheet, and yeah,
tough league, mate. Tough league. Stronger league than last year, I think.
Oh, I reckon so. Yeah, when you've got because Aurillac are much stronger, and the likes of Argent are much stronger. Yeah, there's a lot more. There's fewer teams that are rolling over, or just being crap generally.
Yeah. What else? Anything else of note happened? I think mostly went to form last week. Grenoble
you've
got
had 15 out of 16 in the predictions the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Brive only missed out by a couple of points at Grenoble as well in a game that maybe they should have won.
That was on TV in my hotel room.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I was like, just gone. Canal Plus, well, dry. Always expected it to be just a blank screen, and then it was actually just showing. Fortunately, we had to go out for dinner, so I wasn't able to watch it. Not for the first time this season. Grenoble winning with a 40 plus, nearly 50-meter penalty from Roman Trouillou that hit the backboard. It was still had a few bit of legs to go. Jamie Shilcock looked like he had a decent game in this.
Yeah, there's a bit of interest at 10 in the Grenoble side as well. Obviously, Sam Davis has had a horrible season with injury and has made fleeting appearances, but they appear to have entrusted the jersey to a young guy called Maël Navizet, who played for Chartreuse in his youth, and has now started, I think, 3 on the spin for Grenoble.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, they are still... it seemed like a huge game. They are still within, 9 points of Brive in 6th. So with 9 games to play, very much in touch, but hugely important win because I think that may have put a little bit too much daylight between them otherwise. 16 points behind Oyonnax is a big jump in 9 games. So yeah, fair play to them for getting over the line.
Do you think Dax could make the playoffs? 15 points behind.
No, I don't. No, I don't. But I think it's only fair to call out they've won the same number of games as Brive and Argent, notwithstanding their points deduction. Yeah, and would have the they'd be in 7th, wouldn't they? Just behind Brive. Yeah, they've been really impressive. They've
they
got a
had a
horrible run coming up though.
have they?
Yeah, I think they so yeah, Dax now have got to go to Brive and then Oyonnax on the spin. Then they host Grenoble and then they go to Colomiers,
Ooh.
which is
So maybe that's why they've risen up the league. But they're
not the
safe now,
prettiest.
basically, really. Like realistically, they are only 7 points
Mm.
above Mont-de-Marsan. But yeah. Um the 7 points is a lot more at the bottom than it is at the top. This game with that their win over Provence. Have you seen any of this game?
I saw that the Stade Rondegé didn't look particularly full. Um,
When the highlights came on, I was like, "Where the fuck are they? Are they doing like a
it,
ground renovation or something?"
like
And
a
I
COVID era game.
yeah, completely forgot that they were at Stade Jean Daget. I think it might have been they basically only opened up one stand, and I think
Yeah,
that was the one stand that you couldn't see from the TV camera. Um, but yeah, it did not look because they sold out quite a lot of tickets for the Mont-de-Marsan game, didn't they?
yeah,
Um, I guess that's a local derby with two teams nearby, whereas Provence to Bayonne is a
yeah. It's
decent yard. That's
strange
deceptively
scheduling
far yards.
in
Um,
in the middle of February as well. It doesn't feel
yeah,
like the most apposite time to play that game,
maybe it was
but
maybe it was the only time they could get the ground. But things of note, there was a Finn Russell Calcutta Cup style flick on from Caleb Muntz for one of the tries. But the main story here is the red card for Piazzoli. I can't remember his first name, Giacomo, isn't it, or something like
mm,
that? But Piazzoli, the flanker for Provence, who has a bit of an edge to him. He's kind of going to be in a contention for. We need to come up with a name for this, but the kind of moment of madness, which there have been plenty of this season. He makes a kick, sorry, makes a tackle on Romuald Segui like as he's making the kick. So it's like perfectly legal. It's one of those ones that like if it's late, it looks really bad, but it does it as Segui's like in the act of tackling.
yeah,
Fine. Gets up to kind of follow play and just leaves a knee in, and his knee clocks Romuald Segui in the head.
yeah, you
And it's
can't do that.
and it's one of those ones that like he's tried to make it look natural. He's tried to make it look like a natural motion, but you can kind of see his knee dip. And the more you watch it, the more egregious it becomes as an act of foul
Yeah,
play. And you know that he meant it because his reaction to receiving a red card is to
I've
like
been I've been rumbled.
not like he puts his shirt like over his mouth and in shame. Like he knows exactly what he's done, and that is just a complete loss of the
So
swing.
set, I think he got a red card earlier in the year for something that he got a decent ban for as well.
Oh
I
yeah, he
might
might
I
have done
might have
actually.
confused him, in which case apologies, but um, yeah, that's
No,
not
he has
ideal.
two reds. He's top of the charts. Two reds and one yellow. I think you're right. It was quite a bad one, wasn't it?
I can't remember what it was, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't like a yeah, it wasn't a weak ban. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. Um, fair. Good win for Dax though, who
Yes.
yeah, as I say this week, have got to go to Brive. Anything else stand out for you?
Yes. Uh, Lucas Martin's name. Well, Nicera in that did a like bit like vintage Nicera from a couple of years ago, but Lucas Martin's for Argent kind of was kind of very prevalent in the Pro de socials for basically skinning someone. There's a kick through from Craig Willis, which was actually a really nice dab through, which Martins then kicks ahead and just burns I think it's actually the opposition scrum half, but it's Bielbiere esque. And Martin scored two tries, but what we don't see in the highlights was an own try where he's tried to run it out from under his post, and clearly with all the confidence of scoring a brace, tries to chicken wing offload, and it goes to the reserve loosehead prop who just strolls in. So yeah, not like in another year, real contender for own try of the season, but
But
we've
not in this vintage
this
season.
vintage season. Like the Piazzoli one is a real contender for the moment of madness, but there is so many other contenders for the moment of madness and the own try
A
of the season.
stacked
That
field.
yeah, maybe we're just paying attention. It's like when like crime rates go up, and it's like well actually the data, the better at picking up the data now, rather than, isn't it? One of those sorts of things. Maybe we're paying attention to it more, so we're
See
seeing
more
more
of
of them.
it. I think if we look ahead to this week, we mentioned a couple of the fixtures there already. The big one, Friday night, undoubtedly. I'm surprised they haven't tried to squeeze it into a Saturday night slot, but I guess the top 14 is back. Standout fixture must be Van Colomiers.
First versus second, isn't it?
First v second, Colomiers best away team in the league. Still an enormous ask to go to Van and get anything out of that, but should be a really cool occasion.
Best home team in the league, obviously, as well. Who are Van, who are 49 points from a possible 50 at home.
Yeah, remarkable that they are. So they have got 81 points, which is, and maybe this speaks more to some of the opposition, but that is 31 clear of the final barrage place. That just feels like such a huge gap.
Sorry, what?
So
Dear
Breathe
Lord.
in sixth and 50. Yeah, it's remarkable.
Do you know
Colomiers
what?
aren't too far behind.
Do you know what could happen though? We could see a changed up team because the following Thursday is Colomiers hosting Breathe,
Hmm.
and
Pick your
then
battles.
Colomiers go away to Provence. God, that's a what a set of three games that is for Colomiers. Um, yeah, that's oh,
Two of which are going to be the Thursday night fixtures as well. So we'll be able to watch
some
those.
absolute belters. Those two.
Definitely.
Provence Colomiers is going to be. Maybe they throw the towel in. Well, don't know. Hopefully they won't throw it. Oh no, that's in ages time. That's in end of March.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe they'll go strong for these two games then, and just try and go all out.
Give it a crack. Let's hope so.
I really hope they do go strong away to Van.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the ultimate indictment of the league, isn't it? If the strongest away side send the shags to Van.
Bins it. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
Carcassonne
Okay.
hosting the LAC as well, big game.
Oof.
And Mont-de-Marsan, they're making the Londe Basque Derby. I've seen it promoted as Mont-de-Marsan hosting Biarritz and Carcassonne hosting Aurillac. Pretty big games in the relegation battle, I would say.
Massive few weeks for Mont-de-Marsan, Biarritz, then Béziers, and then that round at the end of March, Carcassonne, and then home to Aurillac. Feels
Well,
like a little bit do or die-ish for them, for sure. Okay. Anything
Carcassonne,
else from...
who's Dragon
Yeah,
Montage
did the
worked,
business.
did the business.
Did the business against Nevers.
They
Um,
defended their city.
Anything else on Pro Day before we wrap up with a few petty fours?
Uh, no, other than to watch the game. I think that could be a really good game actually. Valence Romans. I don't think either side are in flying form, and it's a sort of one where it could be like a 10-6, or it could be two teams just being like, right, we've got a shot at a win here. Let's rack up some points. Valence Romans, who have chucked it about a bit away from home as well against Soringalem, who traditionally do. So hopefully we see some good weather and some good ruggers. Okay, then, the Pro Day round 22 predictions from us at Rugby's Rugby. Rich and I have put our heads together and we've tried our best to predict the unpredictable. There is a strong argument in round 22 for all home wins. Quite kind of got that vibe. A few of the weaker sides at home to sides that have got big games coming up, and the fact they've got a big round of fixtures next week and then a break makes this one hard to predict. Don't know which teams are going to go strong away from home, and that's why, as you can see, Rich and I have gone fairly split between the two of us. We are both backing our boys, Sax v Soy-en-Galem, on the Thursday night, the game that you can catch on FR UK if you're in the UK and Ireland. And then Provence, they've got such a strong home record. They're in a great run of form generally. Rested a few last week, so they should win that one. Béziers v Oyonnax is a tough one, because Béziers do actually have, for their position in the league, they've got a very strong home record. But we are both going for Oyonnax. They had a great result last week and they're struggling to get over the line away from home. Feel like this is the one for them to do it. Brive versus Dax. Now, I've gone for Dax for very little reason other than just hunch / I kind of want to see it. Brive are one of the strongest home sides in the league, and they've got a far bigger budget, far bigger squad. So it makes perfect sense that Rich has gone for Brive, but Dax have got the muscle to match Brive, so who knows? We are both going for Mont de Marsan at home to Biarritz in the Basque Landes Basque derby in Mont de Marsan. So two parts of the country very near to each other. Biarritz are going okay generally. They lost last week, but they had a decent result at home to Vannes. Mont de Marsan, though, they're in the crunch time of their season. They need to start winning games, so we are going for them on that. I'm also going in the other big one at the bottom. I'm going for Carcassonne. They got a good result at home to Nevers last week, so I'm going for them to back that one up. Aurillac, though, are in better form coming into this than Nevers were last week, so Rich going for Aurillac, generally going okay. We're both going for Grenoble because they picked up a win last week, maybe a bit of confidence because they're finding a bit of form. Nevers have been in dreadful form this turn of the year since 2026 begun. I don't think they've won since Christmas still, so both going for Grenoble in that one. And then first versus second, the Friday night game, Vannes hosting Colomiers. Vannes have a staggering 49 points from a possible 50 at home. Colomiers are the best away side in the league, 7 wins on the road, but we are both going for Vannes. Whether Colomiers send a strong team or not remains to be seen. Should be a hell of a game. So looking forward to that one, but we're both going for Vannes. Real mixed bag of stuff there for us on the predictions. Get in touch with your thoughts, drop them in the comments. Okay, Thursday night rugby on FI UK if you want to watch that on YouTube and you're in the UK and Ireland. But it's Soya-Angoulême versus Valence Romans. There is a lot of text there with those two teams, but two teams in kind of a weird contrasting states. Kind of Valence Romans are kind of the Soya-Angoulême of this year. Soya-Angoulême have kind of perhaps reverted to the mean. They were the team that were picking up loads of wins, playing some great rugby, picking up wins on the road. Valence Romans kind of feel like that kind of punch above your weight sort of team this year, but they have sent a relatively weakened side. So they had 3 of the top 5 most minutes played for players in the league. None of those guys are playing. So Rosier, Guillemot and Mere, but also Dorian Marco Pena, their top try scorer with 11. The hooker, he's not available either, and neither is Maru in the centre, their captain. So they have changed it up a little bit. There's still plenty of quality in there. Ron McCauley has played plenty of minutes. He's a really good line-out technician and leader in that pack. And then Tom Ross, another Australian, former Australia A, former Brumbies, Waratahs man. He comes in for his first game. He's a really good quality tight head as well. Spandarashvili in the back row, a great option, as is Isaiah Moore, who played briefly at Saracens, was at Cast last season, so he's had a few clubs, but he's played for Samoa. He's a really talented player, loves to put himself about. The two Fijians there in the back line, Mowalu and Naisaru, like they bring a bit of punch. They're not kind of top-end Fijians, but they have their days out where they can be fairly unstoppable. Callum Randall, also Englishman who's played sevens for England and France, a name to look out for there on the right wing. But they're missing some real key players, notably Lucas Merry, their fly half and top point scorer in Pro D2. For Soya-Angoulême, the home team, they're looking relatively strong. The interesting one is that Ben Botica is back from injury, played last week, but they've gone for the youngsters in the halfbacks, Baptiste Scoffre and Paul Burgess, who were the halfback pairing for kind of the majority of their game, their most impressive win away at Brive earlier in the season. So there's talent there. I'm a big fan of Hubert Texier, like really good athlete in the back row, but they've gone for a physical pack. They've got Moto Matu'u, they've got Pone Farmasuli, who's been a really good player when he's kept himself on the pitch. Richie Arnold, obviously, everyone knows loads about him because of his time at Toulouse and with the Wallabies. And Bukaboom, the Canadian, has moved to flanker, so he's typically a second row and a big hitter. So he kind of adds a bit of bulk in that back row. Back line, they've got a couple of good electric wingers there in Farissier and Debet, who are quick, but they just haven't had... Soya-Angoulême aren't scoring that many tries this season. It should be pretty tight. They've got some great options on the bench as well. Mate I like, Dekite I like, and then obviously Ben Botica as a great option. Belgium captain Jean-Maurice de Coubet is also in there. So generally coming into this, Soringalem look a little bit stronger than the Valence Romans side that have been put out, but Soringalem's form has been a little bit patchy. So we are both going for Soringalem in this game because of the team selection for Valence Romans, but should be a cracker. Hopefully we'll see plenty of running rugby. Look out for those two young halfbacks in the Soringalem side. That's really cool. Get in touch with your thoughts. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comments. Enjoy. And remember to catch it on FR UK if you're in the UK and Ireland, our friends over on YouTube. So, cheers.